musician, and I've been working as an active musician, in fact, for professionally for about 17 or 18 years now. Also, if you've worked in the West End, that's another cracker. And so I've worked in the West End twice now with the Commitments and with School of Rock. And I've done countless UK tours, and I've worked in regional productions, so and bits and pieces of telly and adverts and stuff. So I've been lucky enough to get quite a broad range of things in my time so far.
If I was writing a song, I'd work out like how the notes in the key.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you already learn a song, I'd always have to get a tab up.
Yeah.
And I never really learned to listen to it properly. I just tried to go from the tab,
yeah.
and then wondered why it sounded so terrible. But then, but I think over time, I've sort of realised the importance of ear training,
yeah.
and how, because you see people when they learn stuff like on YouTube, they'll hear a piece of music and just go and play it instantly, and I think that's really impressive. And also I've deleted all my tablature software, and now I'm just trying to learn more by ear.
Yeah, because we've spoken about this a lot, haven't we, about how people learnt things in the past because you couldn't get access to stuff, and because that created, that gave them a really good musical ear.
Yeah.
Now there's nothing wrong with having information from other people and things written out, but it's getting that balance, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, because I was so one-sided. I never really properly listened to a song before learning it. I just hear it a couple of times, right, get the tab up, and then I only listen, just go by that, and it was just felt impossible.
Yeah, but now of course you're playing over really complex sequences and stuff like that. And also it gives you the possibility to create your own songs as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Good.
Exactly.
Cool. Right then, Denise. So, tell me a little bit about, because you had some lessons with somebody else first of all, didn't you?
I did. Yeah.
And I'm just interested in how far you've come from that early days.
That's a question of from back then, which was a long time ago now, probably a good 12, 13, 14 years ago, off the top of my head. A lot of what I was doing was with another teacher, lovely chap, but it's very much, how can I put it, regimented in one way of playing. There's no sort of coming away from certain areas, and everyone's different, it's just the way they teach. But I wanted to kind of broaden out a bit more, and it was when, to be fair, blues camp and stuff, and I started going on to that. That's when it really, I come down to an exam that I was doing, and that's when you mentioned it to me, and I came along and realised that there was a whole different way of playing.
Yeah, exactly. What
came out of an exam book.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was that really that sparked the passion. I kept going through the grades, but in a way of learning them with a lot of other material and techniques and styles of playing and things like that.
If you think about when you started off, you were playing like acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you're sitting there with a bass.
Yeah.
But you've obviously, used with the electric guitar. You've actually got all the way up to diploma.
Absolutely.
But of course, it's also about the fact that it's not just about. It's obviously not about exams, as you said.
No.
And they are just literally little markers on the way.
Yeah, and I think they just give you reference points that you think, I can do that and I know that, and that will help me with that. But I think it's not the be all and end all, and you need to be able to think a bit differently.
Yeah, and of course you've got a very successful band that you're, as you say, you're booked right up to the end of next year.
Yeah, we're now looking into next year. In fact, we was at a gig last weekend, and straight away the landlady said, "I want you back in like immediately." And it was like, we have got nothing now this year, and she said, "Can I have you for next year?" And literally we've got dates into next year now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's stemmed from what I've been doing over the years, and sort of developing.
And you teach?
And teaching all the students that I've got now as well, which are all absolutely
And you would never
marvellous.
have thought that would have... No.
It literally stemmed from one thing, like almost like, how can I put it, like planting a seed.
Yes.
And that just went off in all different directions.
Yeah, exactly.
In ways that probably surprised myself. If you'd have said to me 20 years ago, this is what I'd be doing now, exactly. I'd have said, no, because 20 years ago I hadn't even picked up a guitar.
Exactly.
And now I am where I am now.
Super. Great, thanks.
Okay.
And there are certain people who just want to teach you something and then move on. But the ones that really stick with you, and if you don't mind me saying so, you are one of them, that are in it for the long haul, and that genuinely care about the process. And instead of just a teacher, I would probably describe you as a practitioner. Somebody who genuinely cares about the process, and also somebody who is not afraid to tell you that you're just being yourself is enough.
Yes.
I think that's crucial. I think that's really crucial, that we're not trying to be other people.
No.
And from a musical point of view, but I've learned this as an actor as well, and partly from you, is that there's no point in pretending to be something else. All we've got is, we've got this face, this body, these fingers for guitar, and that's it. So there's no point in being someone else. Get all your influences from other places, but at the end of the day, it's it's your expression. And every time you're playing those licks or singing those notes, it's from your fingers and from your vocal folds,
I've been playing guitar for 12 years now. I'm 17, so I started quite young, and I started having lessons when I was young. And I played guitar for quite a bit, and I've had lessons with many different teachers over the course of quite a long time. And I've also had times when I haven't been playing guitar, like with a teacher. So, and as a player, I've progressed at different rates, and I felt like I have plateaued at times. But I feel like with a teacher, a guitar teacher, especially like Vic, it helps you mature as a player and grow and learn who your inspirations are and who they develop your playing and your playing style into.
I don't really want to go to college, I just really want to get kick-started. It's me, y'all see forever.
A couple of B.B. King solos.
Sweet
and
16.
Yeah, and Lucille, I think, as well.
And Lucille, yeah.
Yeah, and you looked at those, and it sort of transformed your playing. Weirdly.
I still play those licks to this day. I still play them.
It's amazing, but that just literally focusing on that thing suddenly created this, like you got the language down.
Mm.
And then, of course, you had a look at some Blues Breakers stuff, which was really good. And I think that's the thing that I think a lot of people find hard to believe, that you can transform your playing in a very short period of time.
Well, I think I had quite a lot of guitar experience prior. I just didn't really have the sort of improvisation knowledge of like playing properly, like playing live, because I've now sort of started to develop quite a lot of live experience while playing, doing a lot of jamming and playing live gigs and stuff. And I know it all comes down to like consistency of playing. Like the more consistent you are playing, the more confident you are of playing, and the more times you can nail it every time. I mean, the key to it is just playing more guitar and getting interested in it. And that is what makes Vic a good teacher, because for me, Vic worked, as in he inspired me to go on my own path of finding my own influences to then create myself as a guitarist.
The other things that I learned from you, and you know, we don't keep in touch as much as we should, but I think about you all the time, actually. There was
my jokes,
little...
mate. You still remember my jokes?
Well, yes. Tried to forget those.
Yeah, no.
But we were touring in Newcastle the other night, and we had a jam night, like a band night, and there were all our pit musicians were our band, basically. So you've got, like, you know, and they're all amazing session musicians that are just, you know, it's like the best band in the world playing the most elaborate karaoke night, and all these professional singers getting up and singing, but just for our own enjoyment. And it was lovely. And I got up and sang some songs and played some guitar. And strangely, we were playing in, I think we were playing in C. And I went right back to one of the lessons with you where you told me about this BB King lick. And I don't know if you remember the one, but I used it on this night and tried to, you know, emulate it as best as I could. But that was my starting point in the solo that I was doing. And it all came back to that very moment. And I thought, oh, yep, there it is. Or something like that. And I played that and thought of you, you know, probably it was last week.
Yeah, amazing. It's good, isn't it?
It's bloody brilliant.
Chris, show us some.
Show you some bass. Cool. Okay, let's give this a go. See if it comes out okay.
Yeah, have you got your volume down? Okay, right. We can see your hands moving. Right. So
I
now,
can turn it up a little bit, but I don't want to.
Yeah. Okay. So we got the idea. So you've been playing on and off for quite some time, but you've had periods of time where you haven't done anything.
Yeah, I've been out for about 15 years. So I was playing in my 20s and 30s, and I was out for 15 years.
Yeah, you're a born again bass player.
That's the one.
Okay. So the thing is, you get a lot out of playing bass, don't you?
Yeah.
You enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a really great experience. It's just nice to get out of the day-to-day routine and just take yourself somewhere else, take your mind somewhere else, and yeah, it's a good place.
Yeah, and of course you did do a lot of playing at one time, didn't you? So with a band.
So yeah, younger years, a lot of playing, a lot of stuff in the bands. You know, family life sort of taking me in a different direction. So this is just it's a great way just to get back into things again.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And I think that is the thing that I really want to sort of emphasise with people, how powerful music is. Yeah. I mean, for a lot of people, well, no, for you, you're busy work-wise, and it just gets you out of that and just.
Oh, it is. I mean, and these kind of sessions, I mean, it's half an hour, which just gets me straight away out of, I can fit it in between work things, whatever else is going on. We can catch up on Zoom. We do something. It's really great just to get me out of things, reset, that I can go away and just schedule the practicing, you know, as I work around everything else. So that works really well.
Yeah, that's great. And it's also good to reconnect with things from the past as well, isn't it? Where
yeah,
I know I've sort of dabbled around with songwriting and all manner of things in the past.
Yeah.
And it, you know, I've always felt that what happens when you do that is it sort of reconnects to a younger part of yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it's been lovely just to rediscover things where, you know, you kind of forgotten. And again, you're right. It takes me back into my 20s and 30s when I was playing and thinking, oh gosh, yeah, I used to play this and this is what we used to do. So it's a lovely experience just to be pulled back into that. Yeah,
it's brilliant stuff. Good. So you're actually just sorting yourself out to do grade 7, aren't you?
I'm doing grade 7. So first time round when I was playing, I didn't do as much theory. very much everything I was learning by ear, and I still do that today. But I never really did the theory. So this was lovely to come back in and to come into the playing from a slightly different angle and then see how that works with everything, which I sort of, refreshed and sort of knew already.